Watkins. That kind of struck a chord with me because once I saw what Sammy Watkins and Allen Robinson and Jarvis Landry were worth in the open market, I said, there's no way that you can tell me that either of the three players that I named are better than Dez Bryant. Okay, now you can say they have potential, but you can't say that they're better on your team today than a Dez Bryant. Allen Robinson cannot beat the press, and I'll prove that to anybody who wants to challenge that. Sammy Watkins is T. Will. And for those of you who don't like T. Will but love the idea of bringing Sammy Watkins in, you make no sense. Because look at their stats. I'm serious. Just look at it. In their first 4 years, T. Will has 20 touchdowns. He didn't get a touchdown this year. He would have had more in his 5th year. But in his first 4 years, he had 20 touchdowns and about 3,000 some odd yards. Sammy Watkins is the same. He had about 3,400 yards and 25 touchdowns. He has T. Will by 5 touchdowns. He has Hearns by 4 touchdowns. So all three of those players have identical stats. So if Hearns and T. Will are only worth $5 to $6 million a year, how do you justify Sammy Watkins being worth $10 million more than that and $4 million more than Dez, and then say Dez makes too much money, we need a Sammy Watkins? It doesn't make any sense right there, right? So that's where my issue started to come in when people started saying it's about money. I said it's not. And then when they said it's about, ability, okay. As we said, we saw Anquan Bolden late in his career. Quarterbacks were able to get him open and get him the ball, whether it was from the slot or from the outside. He got the ball. Jerry Rice, same thing. He had younger players coming up under him, so they weren't giving him the ball as much. But him, Tim Brown, these guys could get the ball. I'm not saying Dez is a better route runner than any of those guys by any stretch of the imagination, but when you're running hitch routes, you're running crossing patterns, that's just a race to the ball. You're running and then play teams that play zone. If a player's sitting down in zone pockets or in windows, that's open. So you can get the guy the ball, whether he's crisp, Larry Fitzgerald route runner or somewhere in between. So, I thought it was personal, and that's why I came to his defense. And I still think it was a personal thing between him and Jarrett. And I don't think that, I'm a guy that reads 48 Laws of Power, right? You never try to outshine the master. That's the #1 rule.
Never outshine the master.
Yeah, that's his biggest mistake was going and criticizing the OC and Garrett at the end of the year. Even though he was trying to be honest, that's like that Dave Chappelle episode where it says when keeping it real goes wrong. That was when keeping it real went wrong for Dez. I don't think it had anything to do with Dez on the field. I think it had to do with Dez's critique of the coaching staff. And obviously, those guys are self-preservation is the strongest instinct in man. So they're not going to bring in a guy again that already challenged them last year when they know that they're in a prove-it year. They can't deal with that. So naturally, they were going to get rid of him. And I knew that. But I was trying to fight for him with everything I had.
And the other thing is with it is that I'm thinking that he also, I think his PR guy. Let me know if you guys got echo because I got echo on my end. I think his PR team also should have coached him up a little bit better. And this is out here for those who out there who ever interview for jobs. I hope you guys can hear me too as well. Never dog the team or never dog the job that you just left to your new employee.
Smart.
You got to be able to just say, hey, things didn't work out where I was at. Unfortunately, I thought that I was hitting these particular productions, but it just seems like it was just time for me to move on, and I'm looking for a better opportunity. I wish them nothing but the best, and that's how you always should leave on any job interview, even if it's go ahead.
True. You're right. You're right. I think it was just the perfect storm, though, because I think he would have left that way a little more graciously had it been done a little bit more graciously. So if they had given him the DeMarcus Ware treatment where they say, hey, listen, we're going to move in a different direction in December, January, when they actually knew. When Stephen Jones spoke on it, he knew what he was doing at that time. He knew he wasn't trying to keep Dez. So at that time, you should have said, hey, listen, we might keep you, but I will prepare for an open market and we'll, and I think Dez's team, Rock Nation, they should have gone and said, listen, if you guys aren't planning on keeping Dez, let him go in March, but he still has an opportunity to have some free agency money. But I know why that wasn't a reality for the Cowboys. They're smart. And again, this is a business and it is chess.
Yeah.
They didn't want anybody in the division to have enough money to pay a Dez. So that's why they waited, because obviously he can't choose where he goes if there's no money available. So I think that's where, both sides. I think that's where the perfect storm comes in. Both sides kind of make
mistakes. But it's with this too as well with all the other 31 other teams. And I think that if Julio was cut yesterday, right, he'd be picked up tomorrow. You know what I mean? And it's just one of those. It could be a perception is reality type of situation.
Dez can definitely go play for some teams right now. I think the Texans would take him hands down.
You think what they holding on? They're trying to say, okay, we're going to make this move after the draft, or what?
No, I think Dez is kind of holding the cards because he's waiting for the opportunity he wants, but it's not really a reality. And he's the things that make you great sometimes make you not so great too. And he's a stubborn guy. That's what makes him break tackles. He refuses to lose or refuses to go down. He's a fighter. So he doesn't look at the reality of the situation, which is, Baltimore wants you. You could sign right there, right now. I think they'd take him. The Texans will probably take him right now. There's certain teams that have come out and said they won't take him regardless, not because of his character, because like teams like the Browns, they have the money, but they're already loaded up at receiver. Why would they go after a Dez? Right? He would kind of mess up the dynamic.
And this goes back to my point. If the Browns say they got the money, right, but they say they're okay, we pretty cool right now. If Julio Jones was out there on the street, you don't think the Browns say, you know what, let me hit this and receive
but option. See, people keep throwing the Julio Jones scenario.
I'm just using this as a scenario base. I understand what you're saying with the Julio Jones numbers,
Yeah, Julio Jones' numbers as far as yardage, right now, Julio Jones is less than 2,000 yards ahead of Dez, who people have said is declining for the last 3 years. He's about 1,800 yards or 1,700 yards ahead of Dez. But he's literally 30 touch. I mean, Dez hasn't had a double-digit touchdown season in 3 years, and Julio is still 30 touchdowns today.
But let me ask you this, though, and it could just be people just only looking at it from I heard somebody use a myopic view, of things. It could be just the fact this right here. Isn't Matty Ice bloviated and pumped up, pushed up high above than what he really is? Because look at his stats from last year. And I'm not even a stats muncher, but look at Matt Ice's stats from last year and also the year he won the MVP. Were they really gaudy stats?
Is blown up. I can say that, but he took his team to a Super Bowl. Number one,
yeah. So did Trent Dilfer, and so did Brad Johnson. They took these.
but the one thing that you can't discredit him versus a Julio combination because he throws the ball at Julio Jones almost 200 times a year.
Yeah, he do.
Dez has never gotten over 136 targets. I don't think ever. So he throws the ball like Mike Evans. Last year, his best year. I'm sorry, 178 targets. AB 193, 196, 200. Julio Jones, and that's 3 years in a row. We're talking about AB. Julio Jones, same thing, 203. The year he had 1,800 yards, he had 203 targets to Dez's 136. So he had like 70-something more targets than Dez. So it's like, can Dez ball if you throw him the ball? Now that's forcing somebody the ball. That's for people who said that we were forcing Dez the ball. We don't throw the ball enough to force Dez a ball because that's forcing somebody the ball 200 times a game. I mean, a year, 20 times a game. That's when you're forcing someone the ball. And that's more so West Coast type teams that throw the ball quite a bit. And we never threw the ball that much. Dez had to make the best of 5 to 7 opportunities a game on average. So I just say that. I'm not saying that, he should have been throwing the ball that much. We're in a different scheme. That's what it is. But for him to have the type of production that he has with the amount of he's never been over 100 receptions in a year, ever. Never.
Yeah. So and my thing is too as well, and just jumping back on the Dez topic, going to the Ravens, to me personally, Joe Flacco, he's a strong arm guy. Those small intermediate, he's the inverse of what everybody think, but he the inverse of Dak Prescott.
Yeah, basically. He can't throw short, he can throw long.
he can't throw short, and that's why when Steve Smith was out there, he had to literally say, look, man, you're not a leader, man. He had to literally talk to him about some things. You know what I mean? Yeah. And to me, if you look at Steve Smith, and we talking about Steve Smith Sr., the number 89, the short, that's small dog wide receiver, he had to tell him about himself. He had him second guessing. People was almost close to saying like, hey, man, we have to depart from Joe Flacco, But Steve, I think he went on ahead and retired. But I don't know if you like. I think that Joe got a little touch on his ball. I think that did Torrey Smith play with him? Is that right?
Yeah, he did. He played with him. Yeah, Mike Wallace.
Mike Wallace, the real skinny guy back when they won the Super Bowl. What was that guy name? Kickoff return. He was just
I know you're talking
amazing.
about JJ.
He was fast. And that's what I'm thinking. When I see Joe Flacco, I'm hearing that.
His name was Jones, wasn't it?
What's his name? Say it again.
Somebody
in the inbox. Y'all know, man. Y'all know that little skinny guy who was just kickoff return.
Too.
Yeah, fast
as well. I forgot his name though. He's a kickoff returner though. I forget his name.
Can't jog our memory on it. Jacoby Jones.
Jacoby Jones. That's it, right?
Yeah, that boy was fast, man. And that would help Joe out because he had that arm. And what else helped him out too as well was that running back that had the situation. I forgot his name, Rice, I think.
Ray Rice.
Because what would happen here is that Ray Rice was like a replicant of Emmitt Smith, believe it or not, in certain fashions. Yeah. Ray Rice, what he would do is he was the man that ate, the same thing that we talking about with Zeke, that 8 and that 7 and that 9 man front, and those people corralling in to stop the run. And guess what? Joe had the strongest arm in life, and he would just
kick it up there, man.
And he can throw that deep ball prettier than anybody I've seen.
I think if Dez wants long-term money, depending on if they want him or not, if he wants long-term money, real money, and a quarterback that actually likes to throw the ball around and that needs a receiver to connect with right now.
See if you're gonna say who I'm finna think you say. Go ahead.
Garoppolo. He has to go to San Fran.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The money's over there. He has the money there. It's a team that plays the Cowboys if you want to play the Cowboys again. And it's a team that's looking, and he has a GM in John Lynch that's looking to make waves. And then they have Shanahan as a coordinator who's a savant when it comes to receivers. So, I think that's the perfect storm for Dez as far as, a place he doesn't have to go in there and do anything other than be himself. Whereas he'll be fighting for the #1 status anywhere he goes. Like Crabtree wants to be #1, so does Dez. So going to Baltimore is that. Anywhere in the NFC, other than the Redskins, you could be the #1 with the Redskins, but you got Alex Smith over there who doesn't throw 2 wide receivers. So I wouldn't go there if I was Dez, honestly. So to me, it just depends on heart versus logic. And I hope that his team is like kind of calming him down, saying like, listen, go to where you can really prove yourself and you can solidify yourself again. Because I don't think Dez is, I'm not going to say he didn't decline. Like, I'm not the same guy I was yesterday. Like, honestly, I woke up and my knee feels crazy and I didn't do anything other than sleep. So it's like, I'm 35. So it's like, hey, you're never the person you were yesterday. We all age, we all change. That's just the only thing remains constant in the universe is change. So of course he's changed. But I think Dez is still a guy, as you saw in the Arizona game, as you saw in the Giants game when he actually got the ball. He's the guy, he get the ball in his hands. They're going to take 4 or 5 of you to take him down, period. Yes, so he's still that guy. So I think if you give him the ball in positions where he can catch and run, he's good. So I think he should take a team on that definitely could utilize a #1 receiver. And I think San Fran always comes to my mind over and over again. They're willing to spend money right now. They're looking to make waves. It's just that right now I don't think he's even looking at those guys.
Yeah, he's not looking at him. Shout out to Vach Lombardi in the house, man. Hey, Vach, man, you already know. I already got you the link. So if you want to do something, you already know what to do, bro.
Yeah, come on in here, bro.
And school me on some of these defensive guys. Van Der Esch, right?
Van Der Esch with the neck.
There's one person that I can say to Vach with the 19 pick, Van Der Esch. That brother, man, he gets real hot about that.
Oh yeah, that was setting me up too, though, man. Like Van Der Esch is a good 2nd round pick,
right?
I think we got the 50th pick. I think he's good up there. I wouldn't take him at 19 either. I agree with Vach there. Like, no, I don't. And I'm not saying he's. Who knows what he'll become? Right. But I think right now, I don't even think you even take a receiver, even though we need one now. I don't think we take a receiver 1st round. Actually, because of the Dez situation, honestly, I actually agree with.
Don't say. Oh, okay, I'm about to say, I thought you were going to say Cortland Sutton or a wide receiver. Yeah.
I say stay away from wide receiver.
Right.
Our strength is not in the skill positions. Our strength is in the line because Zeke is our workhorse. So give Zeke and Dak everything they need to stay upright. And I think you go after Will Hernandez now or win either one. If they're there, take either one of them and make it so that, you know, people are going to have to contend with our offensive line. And then in the second, third round, because you can still get defensive tackles deep in this draft. They're deep. You can still get a good corner if you wanted to pick one up. You can still get an okay safety in the second, third round. And I think you can get a guy like Equanimous St. Brown, I think his name. You can go and get him in the second and third round. And I actually like him more than most receivers. He's raw. He reminds me of Sutton, but just a little bit more Suttonness to him. He gets in and out of his breaks pretty well. He's a strong guy. I like him. And I think if you go after him in the third round, you still have some talent there at receiver. So, you know, there are no receivers in this draft that I say are like just, you know, hands over fist better than everyone else that you have to take first round. I mean, people say Calvin Ridley, but they're only saying Calvin Ridley because that's
what the media pumping up to as well.
Right.
And he comes from a good program.
Calvin Ridley reminds me of Randall Cobb, and I'm like, Randall Cobb is not like, he's not a world beater. He's good, but he's not like, I have to trade up for this guy. He's not like a Dez was when he was coming out. You know, even though Dez slid the 24 to us, but he wasn't that guy where it's like, yo, there's no receivers like him. And a guy that I like, who we can also get late, is a James Washington. I like James Washington. I think James Washington actually plays a lot like Dez. You give him the ball, he's like a running back. So, you know, you can get guys like that in the second and third round. And I wouldn't jump out there wide receiver. I would shore up my offensive line or defensive line and just make sure our front four and front five on both sides of the ball are solid. And then I would go ham with the skill position.
Yes, indeed. So, man, we just can't. It's what, 9 more days for the draft come around, and we'll see, man, as far as that. And I think you're going to be in town. Is that correct? You still coming down this way?
I'll be down there.
Yeah. So, hey guys, if you guys gonna be down here for the draft, come hit us up, man. We got a little deal going around, and we all gonna meet up. We all gonna talk Cowboys stuff. We're gonna talk Cowboys news, all this good information out here. Hey, with that being said, man, it's almost my time to wrap this thing up.
Okay.
But before we go, did you look at Antonio Callaway tape? This is from D.O.
I haven't looked at Antonio Callaway. Honestly, I don't get a lot of time like Vach.
Right, you like me.
Right. Vach can look at he looks mostly at college because that's his thing. And you'll ask him, like, did you look at certain guys from other teams in the division?
Right.
He'll say, I don't have enough time to look at so many college players. You know, he doesn't have time to look at film for everybody. But I look at so much Cowboy footage that it's hard for me to say, all right, let me jump in. And then there's nowhere to find it either. There's not get the all 22 view on college players. So if there isn't a game in particular that you know about that stands out that you need to get a lot of film out of, and even then it's kind of the thing about college players is always skewed because the only games you really want to look at are the broadcast games where he actually flashes on the screen. And that's the games where he actually plays good. Games where he plays bad is hard to find. That's anybody. It's hard to find because if they're playing bad and they're at a skill position, they're not going to be on the screen. Like if a wide receiver's not getting the ball, you don't see him because there's no all 22 footage of college. I can't just go look at it.
Let me ask Vach Lombardi a question since he in the draft box, man. You know what I mean? Not the draft box, but the chat box. I got a question from Italian Cowboy. He inboxed me via Twitter. You guys don't forget to go follow my Twitter page. That's Laws with an S Nation. And you can just shoot me questions like that, and I can answer those throughout the day. But he said, what about this? This is for you, Vach, if you can hear me. This is Wyoming kid. He's 5'11", and at his pro day, you know how pro days are. You know, they kind of skew the numbers. But he ran a 4.2. 4.2 is a 4.2. He's a 5'11". He's a corner, and those Dion numbers, man. You know, if do you know anything about him, Vach? Can you put that down in the inbox? Do you know anything about this Wyoming? I don't have his name, but he's a sleeper. I think his name is Rico Gafford or something like that. I think RICOGAFFORD. Do y'all know anything about that Rico kid that ran a 4.2? Because I can think of some things. If he can run kickoff return, or if he's wide enough
Rico
body.
Gafford,
Gafford, you know.
Yeah.
Speed is speed. Speed kills. You know, you saw how Tyreek Hill just came out of nowhere. Man, who cares about Wyoming? See, I know that Botch, man. I'm listening to his question in his voice. You know what I mean? He said, man, who cares about Wyoming? You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't trust that fraud program.
Allen, you know? Right? He played with Josh
Allen. So I already know, man. He telling the gaffer, you know. But I'm going to tell you this, Botch. If somebody pick up this kid from Wyoming and he's like the next Tyreek Hill out there, I'm going to come get you, man.
He might be John. He might be Ross out there, though. You never know.
Yeah, John Ross.
You know. For no reason.
I'm like, what's that guy? What's that owner? He passed away for the Raiders. Forgive me, guys. It's late. What's that guy name? He always loved speed. The owner for the Raiders, you know, he passed away.
What was his name?
Oh man, see, we old now. We getting old. It's time for us to go. You guys know the owner, Al Davis. I'm like Al Davis. I just love.
For the Raiders, Raiders, Al Davis.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was thinking the Ravens when you said that, but Al Davis.
My country's tell Al Davis.
Al Davis like speed. Yeah, he'll draft speed all day.
Because he drafted the guy
the punter.
King, and he drafted the guy before Dez. Who was that guy? Didn't two people go before Dez?
Haywood Bay.
Darius Haywood-Bay. I was like, yes.
Yep.
Because they left Dez on the board.
I can't stand. Honestly, I don't like the receivers. One of the only positions, and tight end. They make me nervous when it comes to the draft because you don't know what you're getting, man. Like you don't know with any position, but really receiver. Like you can jump out there, and receiver is one of those positions where you can jump out at a top 5 receiver, you know, and get nothing.
Yes,
absolutely
indeed.
Nothing. I'm talking about 0 play. Kevin White, I think his name is, for the Chicago Bears.
Oh man, my God! You know
what has he done?
Glorified bust, man. But hopefully, you know, you just never know. You know, it just little things. He up there in Chicago, man.
We're in a position now where we have to draft. I think at least 2. We have to take at least 2 receivers if we're trying to get a number 1. If we're not, and we're going to go, we're really doing Dak a disservice now. I mean, it's not his fault. He's not a GM. So you get rid of Dez, you can't replace him with the free agent right now, and there are no free agents that would suffice anyway. So if you can't get that productivity back that way, you either have to throw it to your runners, you better throw it to Alawale and Zeke or in Smith more.
But this route guru, David Robinson, I hit him up and he was saying that pretty much Noah Brown going to be the man coming out. You know, Noah Brown. Please, guys, don't sleep on Noah Brown. Well, some people say he's like the prototype of Dez Bryant, a poor man's Dez Bryant at this point. You know,
he's like a refrigerator at wide receiver, man. Like Noah Brown is bigger body than Dez. Like he's a big guy.
He's 6'3"-ish.
I ain't talking about his height. It's just if you watch him on film, he looks like a tight end on film. He's like Mike Williams, but a little faster. But when he bang, he can bang, man. So he can even block. They use him as like a pseudo tight end sometimes on bootleg plays.
That's number 85 for those who don't know. If you go back and look at his tape, he's not out there on film that much. But yeah, if you go back and look at some of Zeke's run, because Zeke pretty much handpicked this guy, and he was saying like, you guys got to go draft this guy. And he's vicious. He's dangerous out there. He will blind block you and not care about it.
Don't want to do against this guy is press him. Don't press him. You want to beat him, stay off him, and just let him. You know, he's not a fast guy at all. But you press him, he's gonna beat you up at the line. So you know, I like Noah. I just I don't think he's a number 1 either. I think he's a good number 2. Who knows what Hearns can become? But yeah, David Robinson. I trust anything he puts his stamp on. Honestly, I watch him a lot on Instagram. I watch him a lot. Just period. I watch him on YouTube too. Just watching some of the drills that he runs, and all the receivers that he deals with, they look like world beaters when it comes to route running. And they still have to deal with other things, but because health is an issue, scheme is an issue. But like Treadwell got drafted by Minnesota first round, hasn't done anything, but that's one of David Robinson's guys too.
Right.
But he runs the hell out of a route though. So you never know. It just depends on scheme. But Dotson is one of his guys. Jordan Reed. So if you guys like
Emmanuel Sanders, Christian Kirk is working with him.
Antonio Brown worked with him all season.
Ryan Switzer is working with him, and then of course your
Butler,
the rat, as he's called.
Butler worked with him. So he definitely knows his stuff. Like I definitely could see his. You see how you watch certain directors in a movie, you can see their fingerprint on certain movies. You know it's them. And I can see his
Quentin Tarantino, baby. Everybody know Quentin Tarantino movies.
That's my favorite director all the time, man. So you hit it right on the head.
Hey, you saw when I came out with that other video when I did it. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil man. I know that old speech.
Oh, that's Pulp Fiction is my movie, man.
Hey, he said, you read the Bible, Ringo. That's the favorite part towards the end. You said, hey, when I said it, that show, you know what? Yes, indeed. He said, go in that bag and pull out that wallet, the one that say bad mother.
The one that say bad, and my phone on it, man. That was my joint, man.
Yes,
I love all Tarantino movies, though. I don't think he's missed yet, man. So
he haven't missed, man. Man, we might have to start talking about film breakdown, man. We're gonna have to start talking about some other film, man.
See, like in a lot of my breakdowns, I throw a lot of movies in there. I'm a cinephile, man. I watch movies like so those things will come to me. I'll be watching somebody's film, and I'll be like, well, this parallels this movie somehow, and I'll throw it in there. So and I like to give people a little bit of everything. So I want them to be able to laugh, and not just to break that. I want them to be able to laugh and enjoy it at the same time, because everybody got ADHD now. They don't want to watch nothing more than 5 minutes, and all my film is long.
Man, I sit there.
I want to watch it.
Did you see that? Are you into comics like the Justice League and Marvel? Man, my brother had me not watching the Justice League. He said it's garbage, and this me listening. I'm like, man, it's garbage. I'm gonna wait till it come on Netflix. Then
what's crazy? I haven't watched it because somebody said that. I still haven't seen it.
It's good, man. Part 2. Man, Superman the man. Superman.
I still haven't watched it though. I watched it tonight.
Watch it tonight, man. It's on Fire Stick if y'all got it, man. Superman was so fast, man. The Flash, you know how fast the Flash run? I ain't gonna spoil it for you, right? But Superman was fast enough to just watch him move in slow motion. Right. Go out there and just grab his little tail and just say, nah, get back. You know what I mean?
I got you.
Hey, that movie is the truth, man. Justice League, man. But I'm more of a, the Adventures and all that stuff,
Marvel guy, man.
Yeah, man, Marvel's guy. DC Comics cool.
Except for Dark Knight. Dark Knight, it was like they can't. Heath Ledger, he gave his heart and soul in that one, literally. So I think that was one of the ones I said, all right, he kind of tore off the mold with that one and broke it.
Yeah, and I still, to me, man, Ben Affleck, man, I just can't really get into Ben Affleck as being Batman, Yeah, man. So that's pretty much bad. Let me see. Let's do it.
Y'all gonna start talking about movies and you know what I mean, all that, while we sitting here trying to get some football information. But
we can parallel talk this thing down to everybody. Vouch saying, hey man, we're gonna have to do a show one day on Pulp Fiction,
Man, let's do it.
Let's do it, man. We're gonna do it, man. Shoot.
Like
come on your show, whatever.
Like when it comes to movies, man, that's actually what AKOYE Media was supposed to be. It was a production company, and I threw a video out there on my AKOYE Media page, and it stuck. So now I'm stuck with AKOYE Media being a sports thing rather than.
Nah, man, you flip it up on them, man. Look, what's your favorite movie of all time?
All time, it's either Pulp Fiction. I love Pulp Fiction. I can watch that every time it come on. All right, so Tarantino, I would go by director more so than movies.
Okay.
Because I love like the Coen brothers. Their movies are always hot. I like Spike's movies. I like Tarantino's movies. The young kid, Ryan Coogler.
Oh yeah. He gets you thinking, man.
His movies are all hot, man. So I'm a director follower. Like I follow certain directors, and like the guy that made Pan's Labyrinth. He's a Spanish guy. Forgot his name though, but I watch his movies. But I follow directors more so than I follow one particular movie. I can't say I got one movie that I watch, but I got a couple that I'll watch
Man, I'm telling you, I got one movie that I'll watch from beginning to end anytime, man. That's Coming to America.
Oh, yeah,
I sit back and
Eddie Murphy was a beast, man. Like, that's classic.
that
You
movie
can't
came out
watch
in
that.
84, 85, something like
It doesn't even
that.
question you if you don't like that. Like, it's like certain movies, like you can't say nothing about. Like if it's like, hey, you know, if it's popping, it's popping. Like it's a cult classic.
Hey, Italian Cowboy said, "What's up about that Godfather?" You know what I
Oh,
mean?
Godfather! I tell my fiance about it all the time because she hasn't seen it. But I talk about
What you got to get her to watch it, man.
you
You
don't watch
got to
the
get her to
show,
watch it.
do all that, but and it's older. But like Fredo, I tell her about Fredo type people all the time. It's like they remind me of like Iago from Othello. Like they come in a certain tone, and they just don't. You know, it's like can't get right type people. You know,
Right, right,
so I try
right.
to use that analogy. She's like, "Well, it's Fredo." You got to watch Godfather to
Yeah,
understand.
you gotta watch Godfather to understand, because that's when we really can get into like, hey man, you remember this part of the scene of the movie? Just like, man, I had my coworker, man, she never watched the Shawshank Redemption. You know what I
Oh man,
mean? I said,
that's
look,
a classic.
let me pull your card for that, man. You
That's a
never watched
classic.
Shawshank Redemption? It's a long movie, but it's good. She came back like 2 weeks later and said, oh, that movie was good, Law. That movie was good. I said, yeah, I told you.
You know what movie came out this year that last year that it got an Oscar, but it was a
Mm-hmm.
lot better than I thought it would be. That Three Billboards in it's called Three Billboards in Missouri or something like that.
Mm.
With Woody Harrelson and the guy Sam Rockwell and all those guys. Like that movie was bomb, man. Like it had so many different layers and subplots to it. It was dope. So
I'm gonna have to watch that movie. What's the name of it again?
like three billboards in Madison, Missouri, or something,
Three
Missouri,
billboards in Madison,
something
Missouri.
like that. Yeah, um, yeah, something like that. I forgot the name of it, but I watched it like twice already, and
Mm.
it's decent, man. It's about a lady who's I won't give the whole thing away, but her
Right.
daughter is like she argues with her daughter. She's a grumpy lady, argues with her daughter, and her daughter goes out and gets kidnapped and killed and burned and all that, but they never found out who did it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, so like a little suspense type of movie.
not well. It's a little bit of everything. That's what I like. Like it's a little bit of everything. It's comedy, it's suspense, it's drama. That's why I like it. Great
Mm.
acting. So you never really you can't guess this movie to the end. Like it's just so many different layers to it, and twists that becomes real good at the end. Like so.
Mm-hmm.
But she puts up three billboards basically coming at the sheriff, who's Woody Harrelson, and it creates this big uproar, and the story takes off from there. But once you watch it, you'll definitely once you get into it, you'll like it. You'll like
Oh
it.
yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, shout out to Game Changer. Friday was a classic. Kill Bill is a classic too as well, man.
Yeah,
Hey, they said
that's why I
don't
say you
forget
can't
about
say one
Scarface.
Tarantino
Look,
movie because you got
yeah,
Kill
man.
Bill, both of them. You got Pulp Fiction. You got
Uh-huh.
Inglorious Bastards. You got a lot of movies from
Yeah.
Tarantino, and then movies that he's actually put his hand on, like what's it called, Death Trap, or Death
Mm-hmm.
Machine or something like that with Kurt Russell. He didn't
Mm-hmm.
direct that one, but he helped Rodriguez make that one, and
Mm-hmm.
that was pretty good. So Tarantino, he in a league of his own, and then you got the young guys coming up, but the guys who always rock out, man. I think everything that they make, except for Burn After Reading, with the Coen
Right,
brothers,
right,
man.
right. That was kind of yeah.
Burn After Reading was okay, but everything else they make is like retarded.
Hey, people like, look, let's talk football.
My bad,
hey,
y'all.
hey, but look, hey, one thing I would tell you guys, man, I'm not gonna leave out the cartoons. I love Lion King. And remember, you know what I mean? Remember who you are. You are my son,
Yeah,
the one
facts,
true
man.
king.
Facts.
or the other part,
Somebody
Simba.
gotta give Dez that speech.
Simba, you deliberately disobeyed me. But Dad, I wanted to be brave.
That's what I said. You gotta give Dez that speech.
Yes,
That's
indeed.
Jerry Jones to Dez, like Dez,
Dad.
disobeyed
He said, but Dad, I wanted to be brave. Son, being brave.
me. Right.
You guys think I'm crazy now, man. But that's all the time we have for today. And AKOYE, tell them where they can meet you at, man.
You can follow me on Instagram at IM_Koye. You can follow me there. You can follow me on Twitter at AKOYE Media. Exactly how it sounds, AKOYE Media on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Also, obviously YouTube as well. And then on Facebook, I think the page is under AKOYE 2001, but I'll be changing that to AKOYE Media on Facebook as well.
There you go. Yeah, so, you got to have everything with that name. That name is a brand, man. You got hey, for the draft, you might have to get you some T-shirts, man. You got some good fans out there, man.
Honestly, like, you know more so than anybody because I talk to you.
Right.
But, you know, I'm building the plane while flying, so to speak. You know, so it's like a lot of this wasn't planned. As I said, I have other things that I do. I'm really a real estate guy, but now that I'm in this industry, it's like I gotta like catch up fast. I have a marketing background, so it's good there. That's why I know like how to touch people a certain way.
Right.
But when it comes to the the content creation side of it, where I obviously have to be on top of that, have to be on top of all my social media, that becomes cumbersome for me. So I'm working on it. You guys will see a lot of that get a little more streamlined as we go forward, though.
Yes, indeed. And also, I think that DDP, he said that you part of the program too as well, right? The Dallas Prospect.
Oh yeah. Derek Kerr, like I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And then also Ari from Phantom. So those guys are a big help in regards to distributing content.
Yes, indeed. So guys, think about this. On DDP's website, it's the DallasProspect.com. I know we long-winded and closing out, but if you guys go there, it's like the main hub, whereas even though you go there to watch the videos, even though you go there to watch videos, AKOYE still get credit for his views and all his content produced that's on that website. And me too as well. We still get all of the credit, and it's not saying that we do it for credit and views and things, because we never do it, because we do this for free 99 because we love the Cowboys. Man, if I go over there into AKOYE house right now and cut him, he will bleed silver and blue too as well. You know what I mean? And I know that you guys that's in the chat box, like the Voch Lombardi and Jackie, I know all y'all in the chat box, man. If y'all for around and get cut tonight, it'll bleed silver and blue, because that's what we love, man.
Shout out Mark Holmes, man. I had to say this today. Like I took a stab at him, but that's only because he did the little shots fired video. But I tell everybody it's all in fun. It's not about we don't have no personal issues, man. This is not the streets.
Right. Right. People think, man, hey, people want to throw them hands, man.
I'm gonna punch him in the face. Like, no, we cool, man. It's not it's not no beef. We not hanging out going fishing together, but we know it's cool.
Yeah. Yes, indeed, man. But hey, guys, you guys already know where to find me at Laws Nation on Facebook and on Twitter and Instagram, and also at Law Nation, because you guys are here on the YouTube channel. So that's all our time today. I really thank you guys for yours. And remember, you guys are listening to nothing but the best. Salute. Let me put this God of War music on. That game come out April the 20th. That's
going to be dope, man. That's a cool classic right there, too.
Kratos.
This done took up all my video game time. I can't even play Madden no more, man.
Hey, man, we got to play Fortnite, man. I heard that's go hard.
My sons love it. Like, both my sons, they play that all day long. I got a 13-year-old. And a 10-year-old, and my guys are 15. That's all they play is Fortnite.
Yeah, we probably go live and play that one day.
We go viral doing that for sure. Like, we really try to make some money. You do that. Like, that's what you try to make some money.
Yeah, indeed.